Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 4 of the Fausto podcast. In this episode, I'm joined by Javier Diaz de Leon and Agustin Cortes. Javi?
How you guys doing today? Glad to be back.
And today we're going to be talking about the art of brainwashing. So listen closely and get cozy. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Riding down the street in my CRV, picking up my homies in my CRV, kick it with my boo thing in my CRV. Riding down the street in my Honda SUV, riding down the street in my CRV, picking up my homies in my CRV.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 4. I'm here with Javier Diaz de Leon and Agustin Cortes. Javi, thanks for joining us for the first time.
Thank you for inviting me, brother. Means a lot.
Tin, welcome back, brother.
I'm excited to be back. Got some pretty heavy discussions.
Dude, I agree. So this episode is all about brainwashing, and this topic came up yesterday. I'm gonna allow Tin to dive in first and give us a little intro on how this conversation came up, and just got us into the conversation. So go ahead, Tin.
Okay, thank you, man. So this conversation happened yesterday. We have a little group, a little mastermind session where we just talk about ideas, splurge thoughts, and just do a bunch of stuff that I just love that energy. And yesterday, the conversation about pessimists, people who always view the worst case scenario on how these characters have certain aspects. They think they're always right, they're always negative, always bring low energy, etc., etc. And it reminded me of what Elon Musk said with Joe Rogan. He said, I'd rather be an optimist and wrong than a pessimist and right. And this thought triggered another thought that I've accumulated just as time has been going on, just obtaining different perspectives on how everything in life is subjective. Every thought, every belief, everything you perceive to be right and wrong is essentially an opinion. So this led down the rabbit hole that since everything is subjective and we cultivate these internal thoughts, these internal principles, we are brainwashed. For example, I believe capitalism to a certain extent regulated is beneficial to society. I believe spreading awareness about awareness benefits people. I believe that helping others by spreading love is a good thing. Now, on the contrary, it's more rare, but some people could believe the complete opposite, right? Terrorist groups, they believe what they're doing is the right thing. They're brainwashed. Each of us are brainwashed in our own way. So this thought just kept triggering more and more and just started compounding. And then Fausto was like, let's talk about this, how essentially we're all brainwashed, what we can do to essentially create a better mindset. And at the end of the day, this is what I've seen. We're either going to be brainwashed, we're going to go through this life no matter what. It's best just to be positively brainwashed. Okay, so.
Perfect. I like that. I like how the positively brainwashed. So, Javi, you want to add on something to that before we keep digging in?
Well, we're talking about positivity, and I just want to mention how, it's good to be positive and everything, but at the same time, a little of reality would be good as well. I have this one term I call positive reality, where in a sense you create a positive mentality, a positive brainwash, and you also add in the reality part. So what I feel like a lot of people lose focus on is they have a goal to reach and they feel positive and everything, but in terms of time, they're not realistic. They want results within 2 months, 3 months, a year, 2 years, depending on what they do. And sometimes it's just not realistic. So at the same time, it's good to have the positive mentality and the realistic side of it too, on the timing side.
100%.
So, dude, those are two great things both of you guys mentioned. Agustin talked about the positive side of just really just doing something positively, and then you brought in the whole reality, right? And it's kind of subjective to everyone. Like what Tim was saying is believe in something positive, but then again, on my end, I want to add another topic to it. Not a topic, but piggyback off of that, and it's called Epistemic Relativism. I've spoken to Tin about this, and it's pretty much meaning that your truth is your truth, my truth is my truth. Who am I to tell you that you're right or wrong, and who are you to tell me that I'm right or wrong? Meaning that you could believe in anything you want to, but if you notice that you're being negative about something and you're complaining, that's where it gets tough, because You have full control of this positivity mindset. What Javi said was real. Like, literally, we live in a reality. Like, there's adversity everywhere, left and right. We cannot be delusional. And this is where I don't get stuck. It's a lot of criticism. Because if you think about it, if you're always positive about everything, people are going to question you. Like, are you doing it just to pretend you're positive? Or are you really hurting and just trying to run away from it? You're delusional, man. Be realistic. Someone like in Javi's case, where someone brings in just a reality, and someone over here is bringing in just a positivism, meaning that you're too positive in such a real world. But that's where awareness comes in, and that's why I think brainwashing positively, like Tim mentioned, is also called awareness, because you get to pick and choose what you want to believe in positively. Like, literally, the key word here is positivity. So, again, epistemic relativism. Your truth is your truth, my truth is my truth. So on that, it just, you brainwash yourself over and over again.
Exactly. And I agree 100% on what Javi said. I'm not this, I'm not naive and expect the world to fall on my lap. And you need that ingredient of reality into your spectrum of thought. Because if you are over optimistic, you're too extreme, you're on that side of the field, you're not going to accomplish anything, and you're always going to be wondering, why don't things happen? It's because you're not taking a look at the objective truth. Now, this is where things get very, very complicated, because you got to find the right balance. And in life, there is no way for you to know what is that point. Say it's 60-40%, 80-20, 90-10, 95-5, whatever it may be. What you believe is right, keep that balance. But the reason I bring up the positivity factor being so important is because life is just point A to point B. We don't know what happens after that. But from the day we're born to the day we die, we go through the arrow of time. And if we have this positive mindset, we're going to be going through this with positive energy, good thoughts. And I don't know if you've ever been in a dark mental place, man. I don't, if you're like Tom Billy said, flirting with depression, dude, if you have the anxiety. I've experienced not necessarily the depression, but the anxiety, and it was horrendous. I do not like being in these mental spots. That it's horrible. It's literally so anchoring on everything. And I've been on the contrary side, very abundant, positive energy. And I would much rather be on this side. And back to what Tom said, life is just neurochemistry feedback. So if our brain is activated in a positive manner, we're essentially go through the arrow of time in a quote-unquote better way. I'd rather go through life happy rather than sad. That's what I'm trying to say. But, in life we're trying to accomplish things. We have goals, we have ambitions. So we need that ingredient of reality to accomplish them. If you are too naive, nothing's going to happen. That's where I think that the bottom line is, and that finding that balance point is the critical point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also think having the positivity helps with, the motivation to go ahead and do things. And not only that, but it kind of helps you do things better in a sense. So, if you're working your job, it's better to have a positive attitude than a negative attitude.
Exactly.
Because you're going to your performance is just going to be much, much better than, if you have that negative, anchor on you.
Exactly. And you still have to do the job.
And either way, you're going to still do the job. That's right.
That's crazy, dude. You're right. Just having the positive attitude, even when you're in a negative spot, maybe you could say that. That's true, man. Even Tom Billieu, he said that, I think, and Ed Milet, he said that, I think, and it's a weird conundrum, bro. You find true happiness in the darkest places. So I feel like when Tom said flirting with depression, that was his trigger. Once you hit rock bottom, it's you can't get any lower. So, dude, that's when you start digging. I don't want to say finding happiness, because actually happiness is not found. You just gotta dust it off and take it off the shelf, hypothetically, because that's our default state. But I mean, yeah, dude, I like what you guys said. One thing that I want to speak on is the whole idea, and I don't know if you guys have homies. I mean, I hope I'm your guys' homie, and I don't know if you guys have other homies, but when people say oh, dude, I'm young and stupid, but I'm gonna have all these stories for my grandchildren, I think that's mediocre, dude. The thing is, I'm a victim of that. I used to think like that. You know what? Hell yeah, dude. this young, bro, like I'm gonna have all these stories to tell my children and my grandchildren. But you know, stories, different stories, not like all my fuck ups, you know. But dude, fuck a story, and excuse my language, but honestly, fuck a story, dude. I'd rather give my grandchildren a blueprint. Or my children a blueprint, you know. I don't want to sit there around a campfire and like, oh yeah, dude, when I was young, this and this and that. You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh my God, grandpa, oh my God, dad, really? Like, nah, dude, look, this is what I did. This is what worked for me. Here's a blueprint, a hypothetical blueprint, not physical, but take it and, think for yourself. I'm going to teach my child to think for themselves. And it's hard. There's really no good parenting either. Who knows what good parenting is? But that's another thing. A belief system, a brainwash, so we as we have parents, they brainwashed us because culture brainwashes us, society brainwashes us, school system. I was brainwashed my whole 4 years in college, dude. Like, that shit was rough because school does not teach you how to think for yourself. So I think that's one thing I rather, again, I'll say it again with emphasis, fuck the story, dude. I'll give a blueprint. So I don't know what you think about that.
I agree 100% on building that blueprint foundation is, like, I would say the key, because it's the mental framework is essentially how you're going to guide through life. But as a human being, we both know doing the easier thing, the Epicurean thing, the instant gratification is much easier. And as human beings, we tend to victimize ourselves towards the, I'll just do that right now, I'll worry about the important stuff later. And we always put it to the side. Now, I like what you said on how essentially our stories do make us, our culture, our exposures make us, and as we go through life, we start, internal, real deep principles and beliefs start coming to play. But I believe you take a third perspective and take a step back, you can start choosing essentially what to brainwash yourself. And then when these brainwashing belief systems, it goes down further. Maybe this generation, we're the ones that become aware about thinking for ourselves, like Louis said. And then our kids, the future generations, think for themselves. And then these people create something that is beyond our imagination. And how they're able to do so is because they positively brainwash themselves by thinking for themselves. So, dude, this realm is very, I would say, subjective, but at the end of the day, I personally strongly believe that, like, having that positive energy, believing positive, brainwashing yourself in a positive manner, is gonna help you more than to say to brainwash yourself in a negative manner. You don't want to anchor yourself. Let your energy be abundant.
Perfect. I like that, man. Javi, any last words?
Just wanted to add, definitely when you're aware, when you gain awareness, which is what basically we're feeding to you guys, you can basically use, positivity, brainwash as a tool. So, go ahead and use that as a tool. Brainwash yourself in a positive manner in which you can perform better. And yeah, I just wanted to leave on that note.
Dude, I like that. Performance, positivity, productivity, 3 Ps, So on that note, once again, Agustin, thanks for joining me again. Javi, thanks for being here for the first time. You definitely can be here more often. Shout out to the homie Carl who couldn't be here, but I bet he's brainwashing himself positivity right now. So, if you're listening to this, I appreciate you guys keeping up with the show, keeping up with my guests, and allowing yourself to kind of dig deep within yourself and listening closely to the topics we're talking about. These topics are, I feel like people think they've talked about them, but the thing is, I think people they'll talk about it for whatever. Right now we've talked about for 12 minutes. They'll talk about it for 12 minutes with their friend, and then the rest of their day they're doing the same shit that they just talked about how they thought it was stupid or blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So motivate yourself, but do something with the motivation. So that being said, this is the Luis Fausto Podcast, episode 4, Brainwashing. And I hope if you're listening to this, you've brainwashed yourself and continue brainwashing yourself positively. We're out. Thank you guys.
Riding down the street in my Honda SUV. I look like a mom in my CRV. Flex it on your friends in my CRV. Got like 5 seats in my CRV for my whole crew. in my CRV. Got my whole gang in my CRV. Got the groceries in my CRV. I got no game in my CRV. I'm so average in my CRV. Riding down the street in my CRV. Picking up my homies in my CRV. Kick it with my boo thing in my CRV. Riding down the street in my Honda SUV. Riding down the street in my CRV. Picking up my homies in my CRV. Kick it with my boo thing in my CRV. Riding down the street in my Honda SUV.